What are you passionate about in your business? How have you used this passion to impact the lives of others? Those are just two of the four questions I usually ask my guests on this show, Everyday Passions. Hi, everyone. I am Yvonne A. Jones, Client Relations Specialist. Business owners and decision makers consult with me when they want to grow their business by building profitable client relationships. I'm the host of the Everyday Passion Show, where my guests share something they're passionate about and how they've used this passion to impact the lives of others. Now, today, I'll be sharing with you one of my passions and answering those very questions. So the first question I usually ask is, how would you describe one thing that you're passionate about? So here's my answer. I'm very passionate about working with women 50 and wiser, and I provide training and leadership development. And most importantly, I help them eliminate the disempowering belief that I'm too old to do this or that. I'm too old to start something new. I'm too old to take my passion from dreams to reality. Instead, through our coaching, where we focus first on personal development and then business growth, they're able to, whether they worked in corporate America or they were a full-time homemaker, they're able to combine their wisdom and knowledge that they've acquired over the years, along with their passion to grow their business with courage and confidence. So now you may be asking, why courage and confidence? Well, unlike the ageism I saw at my last job, starting a business does not require you to meet any age requirement, right? You do not have to be a certain age. However, you will need courage because if you've never done this before, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. And along with this, you're going to be facing your own fears and uncertainties. Then you're going to be facing the challenges of dealing with those who care about you and they feel they're supporting you and protecting you. But in fact, they may be creating more uncertainty for you. They may be creating additional barriers for you. And so you are going to need courage in order to move forward in spite of anything else that may be coming in your way. So what about confidence? Confidence essentially means standing tall in your own power. It's easy for me because I'm 5'10" in stockings, right? So it's standing in your own power, knowing that there will be challenges. There will be setbacks. You will go through dark periods. And what you may even discover is that limiting beliefs that you thought you had eliminated, they may resurface in the face of challenges that will come up in owning your own business. But when you combine those two things, courage and confidence, they help you, along with the trust and reliance that you have on a support system. And for me, that starts with my relationship with my Heavenly Father. So when you have a support system, whether invisible or visible, that also helps you to negate the negative things and the challenges that are going to come along your way. They help you to, if you fall, you get up, you brush yourself off, and you move forward, right? Now, I also want to mention that I do work with younger women and men. But as we know, having a niche as a small group that you work with and solve a particular problem, it's my 15 wiser women. So the second question that I usually ask is, was there an event that triggered this discovery or awareness? And for me, I will say, yes, there was. But let's take a step back in time just a little bit. At the age of 52, I was working in corporate America in an environment that was getting more toxic day by day. I saw blatant ageism and prejudice, especially these were inflicted on two of my coworkers. somehow they hadn't got to me yet, but I guess I felt it was just a matter of time before I might experience those things. Now, I personally love interacting with people. And in my last job, I was moved into accounts receivables, where I was handling a lot of money, but not having much contact with people. And I hated every moment of it. Plus these other things that I saw happening. And so my desire to be my own boss could no longer be contained. I felt that it was more important for me to start my own business than to be going into a job that I hated every single day and an environment that I was no longer comfortable or happy in. So I had planned on leaving early of the following year, but I handed in my resignation that October. And I formed a corporation and launched my business from home. It was a customer service business for some Fortune 500 customers. And this was an inbound customer service. So I formed a corporation, but quickly I realized that my values, my love of customer service and delivering one-time resolution did not meet their requirements. They were more focused on time. So after 2 years, I dissolved that corporation and I learned about the online world, so I went online. Now, I took lots of classes. Some of them were meaningful, some of them I was not ready for, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I studied online marketing, which serves me to today. I've been able to help many people with that, social media marketing, et cetera, et cetera. I taught classes online and offline, workshops, mentored individuals and groups online and offline. And in 2016, when finally I got over the idea that I just wanted to mentor people, and I actually became a certified strategy coach, I started looking at individuals that I had worked with in the past few years, both online and offline, and I recognized there was a common thread. Most of these people who were attracted to me were in their late 40s and beyond. And so I recognized I naturally affected both men and women, naturally attracted both men and women in this age group. And so it seemed the logical step to create my new website as 50andwisercoaching.com. And then in 2017, I formed a group on Facebook, 50 and Wiser Community, the 50 and Wiser community. It's a thriving community with about 700 people. I don't actively promote it, and we're pretty close-knit for those who are still active. The other thing I did was that I knew this group of women were ones I wanted to work with. What was I going to call it before even I came to the 50 and Wiser? So I actually did research and I asked the question, are you okay with being called a boomer woman? Terms like those midlifers, baby boomers, what have you. By far, 9 out of 10 persons said 50 and Wiser appealed to them. So again, that's how I formed that name. And that's the part of my business that is the coaching and consulting part of the business. So number 3, the question is, how has this allowed you to impact the lives of others? Well, for me, through speaking to small and larger groups, through one-on-one and group coaching and consulting, my clients and others have been able to grow their own business. So instead of listening to me, listen to a couple of my clients instead as I share their testimonials. One, and I quote says, Yvonne, I needed to take a moment to just thank you for your coaching. Amidst the clamor of competing responsibilities, your training, insight, and the resources you provide are extremely helpful as you nudge me towards the greatness you see in me and the resulting growth in my business. I continue to learn and grow so much as I implement your recommendations. Unquote. The second one I'm going to quote from is, within the first month of coaching with Yvonne A. Jones, we were able to surpass some goals set and establish meaningful business principles to excel in a positive direction with our business. unquote. So I believe those speak for me. So I have had the privilege of impacting the lives of many men and women. In fact, one of my favorite stories is of the gentleman who first came to me to learn how to use LinkedIn. And I coached him one-on-one. Then because of his business, I encouraged him to be on Facebook. And it's so rewarding to know that because of being on Facebook, he reconnected with his college girlfriend. And they've now been married. I can't remember if it's 8 years, no, something like that. So that's one of my favorite stories. So the last question that I ask my guests is, how do we get in touch with you? Okay, now many people do not like to schedule a discovery call. In fact, I don't even like to call them discovery calls. I have different names for them. I'm just going to keep it simple here and refer to it as a discovery call. They don't like to do that because they feel it's a thin disguise for a sales pitch. Now, for me, I want to get to know you before I talk business with you. So I'm posting my link to my calendar in the chat section, in the comments section below this video, so that you may schedule a 20-minute call with me. I prefer to do this on Zoom. However, if you don't have Zoom, I'm willing to do a phone call. You may just have to email me about that. So I'm going to put my email, which is Yvonne, YVONNE, at YvonneAJones.com, and my Calendly link, which is calendly.com/Yvonne-6. A little complicated, so you'll see it in the chat, in the comments. And then my phone number is 772-237-0596. Go ahead and leave me a brief message, and I'll be happy to call you back as soon as possible. Just refer to this live, or refer to this call, so I know immediately it's not a spam, it's not a telemarketer, and I'll call you back as soon as possible. So that is one of my passions that I shared with you today. And I'd love to get to know yours. Would you like to be a guest on this show, Everyday Passions? Send me a message through Messenger or email me at the same email address. Let me know what you do and we can talk about it. All right, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, because this is also going to be on my podcast later on, and this will be also on YouTube later on as well.